Welcome back for another Midweek Mini. Today, we are getting into a cautionary tale about being an authorized user on credit cards. Everybody that is eligible is trying to get this elevated welcome offer for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. It is an incredible offer and definitely one that people shouldn't pass up right now. But some people have been getting denied. And anytime people get denied for cards, we try to dig into the reasons why they get denied. And so we have a listener that has a very cautionary tale, and she had to do some research and digging to figure out why she got denied for the CSP. And so, Joanna, tell us, what is the deal with how did being an authorized user on someone else's credit cards cause her an issue?
Yes. And I just want to say before I start, I got permission to use this story anonymously on the podcast. I just think that this is so important for people to hear because, first of all, it's very common for people who are not in the points and miles space to just make their partner or someone else an authorized user. Very, very common. It's an easy, quick thing to do. What people don't seem to realize is that if you are an authorized user on somebody's card, you essentially have that card. Any spending that they do on that card, that reflects on you. Any payments they make or don't make, that reflects on you. The credit limit that is extended to them is counted in your total credit. So it's essentially the same thing in where it reflects their debt, it reflects their payments, it reflects their credit history. All of that kind of stuff is reflected on your credit score. But we usually talk about not making somebody an authorized user because it affects your 524. It makes it look like you've had a bunch of new credit cards. If you've had someone add you as an authorized user to 4 cards, 5 cards in the last 24 months, Chase will count it as you getting 5 new cards in the last 24 months. So that harms your ability to open cards when you want to, especially if you're in 2-player mode going back and forth trying to maximize that. But this story will make you think about a lot of things, and it's very important to hear. So I was working with somebody who was applying for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. She has 2 credit cards. They pay them off every single month. No debt, no balances, good credit scores. Everything looked perfect for getting the elevated offer right now. So when she got denied, she was very, very confused. And I said, you know what? Call Chase right now. Don't wait 7 days for that letter. We need to figure out what's going on. So she called. And Chase said, oh, we cannot give you this card. You have very high debt. And she's like, what is happening? What do you mean I have very high debt? And I was like, okay, when is the last time that you looked at your credit report? And like with many, many people, she had not done that in a very long time. And this is common. Okay, how many people actually peruse their credit report on a regular basis to see what's happening over there? As soon as she went and got her credit report, I had her just use Credit Karma. A lot of people talk crap on Credit Karma because they say it's just an overview and you can't really dig into all the nitty-gritty details, but it is such a good place to see everything all at once. You can see every debt, you can see every credit card, you can see a lot of details. Sometimes the score is off by a few points of what you would see if you went to the Bureau website because it's always changing and it's updating late. But I think it's a really helpful tool because you can put it on your phone and you can check it super easily whenever you want. And I think it's a very good tool. So she goes to Credit Karma and she pulls it up and she sends me a screenshot of the credit cards listed. And there is a credit card with a $49,900 balance.
Ooh, yikes.
She did not have any idea what this was. Now, here's the good thing. It was in good standing, which means it's being paid.
That's
at least
huge.
The minimum is being paid every single month. But here is the bad thing. This made her utilization percentage 92%. If you guys remember back to the credit score episode that I did, which I will link, they want to see your utilization be below 11%, and that is 30% of your credit score. That's a big
That's huge.
chunk of your credit score comes from the utilization number. So by having almost $50,000 in credit card debt showing up on her credit report, she was being denied for this card, even though she personally it does not have high balances. They don't keep any balances on their cards. So of course, panic mode ensues a little. Where is this? Where did this come from? What is this? I said, here's the thing. I don't think this is like identity theft in the way that like someone stole your stuff and racked up a bunch of debt, because I don't think it would be in good standing. I said, I think this is somebody you know. So start thinking like what the possibilities here could be. And she ended up figuring out there was a family member that had made her an authorized user because she'll run errands for them sometimes, and she'll be out and about and she'll be watching their pets while they're out of town, and she'll have to go get dog food or something of the sort. And so now she has a card in her name that's just connected to them, so she can buy what the dogs need and they don't have to pay her back. They did that thinking, this is good. This is easy.
Yeah.
Similarly,
of course.
when I started my current job, they made me authorized user on their credit card because I do a lot of errands and groceries for them. I asked to be removed because the impacts of that are, great. But even when somebody pays the balance every single month, it still can negatively affect you. So she was luckily able to figure this out. She's being removed as the authorized user. This will, after some time, fall off of her credit and hopefully plummet her utilization percentage way down. Her credit score was already decent, but it's going to go up a lot. She can expect a 30% increase basically, because it's 30% of your score, and it was in the red. Like it needs to be below 11%. So this will be really good for them. It's very good that they found this out. But not only did she not know that this is what was going to happen, but the poor family member that made her an authorized user had no idea that any of their spending or credit card debt was going to be reflected on her credit report. This is just not something that we're taught the way that we should be.
Yeah.
There's a big
Nobody thinks about that.
Not at all. There's such a hole in education here. And also, people, you got to be checking your credit reports. You should be on top of that. That should probably be a little bit of a monthly habit for people. And it's another reason to keep your credit frozen, which you did a great episode about, which I'm also going to link because it's very easy to do. Now, granted, this wasn't identity theft, so that's great, but it could have been. She could have been getting denied for a $50,000 debt and gone to her credit report and found out that someone stole a card from her and racked up $50,000 in debt. Luckily, this was like the best case scenario in this kind of a situation. I'm hoping it falls off soon enough for her to actually still get the offer.
Yeah, that's crazy to think that just something small, you were added as an authorized user so you could run some errands. Like you wouldn't even think twice about that. But with that debt being so high, credit utilization, there's so many little factors that play into this game. So I'm glad, thankfully, this listener has figured out the situation, and hopefully this offer will be out there for long enough for her to still maybe apply again and be able to capitalize on this great 100,000 point offer. Mm-hmm. If you too would like to capitalize on it, we have personal referral links. We also have, if you want to sign up for the Daily Drop newsletter, it is incredible. It brings so much value, teaches you so much about points and miles. And if you sign up for Daily Drop with our link, which is in our show notes, for that newsletter, then anytime you sign up for a card in the next year with Daily Drop through their newsletter, and they will be sending out links for this great elevated offer, then we would get credit for that. So consider doing that if you don't mind. We would appreciate it. And let us know if you've gotten denied for a card. We would love to hear why, because it's so helpful for us to learn and to teach others about all of the factors that play into this game. So let us know. You can shoot us a private message in our Instagram. I'm at Family Travel for the Win with the number 4. Joanna is over at Points to Wonderland. Shoot us a private message if you don't want to post it in the Facebook group, with that being kind of sensitive information. Although I think it would be very helpful
Yes.
for our Facebook community if you're willing to post publicly, or maybe you can even post anonymously there. We would love to hear about it because, we all learn and we all grow as each person shares their data points. So
Yeah.
we want to hear about it.
Well, and here's a funny thing right after I finish saying, like, don't be an authorized user ever. I do want to say that some people are getting denied for the CSP right now because they don't have enough credit history, because they don't have
True.
credit cards in their own names. So here's an opportunity that maybe authorized usership would be helpful when you are building, because sometimes you have to start somewhere and sometimes it's not going to be with the best of the best cards. Sometimes you're going to have to go down to the bottom and get a no annual fee, like a Freedom or something of the sort. But if you are added as an authorized user to the card of someone that you really trust, who you know is not maintaining a balance, who you know is paying everything off every single month and has healthy spending habits, that can help put you in a position to get accepted down the road for the cards that you want. So that is something to keep in mind, because that's a reason I've been seeing for denial quite a lot lately, is people are like, I don't understand. I have a great credit score. Well, their credit score is because they had a mortgage, they had a car loan, but they don't have credit cards. And unfortunately, the Chase Sapphire Preferred is considered more of an advanced card, and Chase wants to see your credit history with credit cards before they give you one of their good cards, which is really a shame, but that's how it works. So yes, I echo what you said. I would be so interested. I love the data points of why denials are happening, because it helps us kind of stay on top of the trends, even though they're pretty hard to track. They're always changing. They're always keeping us on our toes.
It's true. Okay, guys. Well, we hope this was helpful for you. Reach out to us online. We love conversations with you guys, and we hope you'll join us next time.
Bye, guys.
If you enjoyed this show today, please consider writing us a review or clicking 5 stars wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please subscribe and follow along so that you never miss an episode.
You can follow the podcast on Instagram or YouTube at Wonderland on Points Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Family Travel for the Win with the number 4.
And you can find me on Instagram at Points to Wonderland.
If you're thinking about getting a new Travel Rewards credit card, consider using the links in our show notes. Using our links helps to support us and keep our podcast going, so we can provide you with all the latest tips and tricks when it comes to traveling on points.
And if you aren't sure which card is right for you, shoot us an email at wonderlandonpoints@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you here next time.